you teach me the lesson about cell which Miss Sophia told?
Yes, sweetie. Friends, today we will learn about cell. Have you ever wondered what things around you are made up of? Books are made of papers. Necklaces are made up of pearls. Houses are made up of bricks, and so on. Then, what is your body made up of? What about bodies of other plants and animals? They are made up of cells. Fortunately, your cells are way more interesting than paper, pearls, or bricks, just as they undoubtedly are much more interesting than a brick wall. Bricks are generally cuboidal shaped, like all other bricks, while cells can have many shapes: round, square, spindle, star, etc. If you slice a brick in half, you just find pieces of a brick. Whereas if you slice a cell in half, which is a good trick, even how tiny they are, you will find an intricate and beautiful array of specialized structures that help the cell perform its function. Yes, cells are not only the building blocks of living organisms, but also the most amazing building blocks in the world. Therefore, cells are the basic unit of a body. They constitute tissues and organs of plants and animals and carry out various activities. Thus, a cell may be defined as a structural and a functional unit of living organisms. There are two types of cells, known as multicellular cells and unicellular cells. Unicellular organisms. Single-celled organisms are known as unicellular organisms. Uni, which means one, like unicycle has only one wheel. Most are invisible without a microscope. Scientists believe they were the first forms of life on Earth, although there are only one cell. They are complex. The more we learn about them, the more marvelous we find them to be. Parasium, amoeba, bacteria, yeast are some examples of unicellular organism. Single cell regulates all the activities of the organism. All life processes are carried out in each cell for its survival. Multicellular organisms that consist of more than one cell are known as multicellular organisms. Most of multicellular organisms are visible to naked eye. Humans are multicellular. Multicellular organisms can be much larger and more complex. This is because the cells of the organisms have specialized into different types of cells, such as muscle cells, nerve cells, bone cells, blood cells, sperm cell, white blood cell, etc. This is due to the fact that there is a division of labor in multicellular organism. Division of labor means that different types of human body perform different functions. Cell structure. Though the shape, size, and activities of cells vary, all cells have following major functional regions: cell membrane, cell wall, mitochondria, vacuole, nucleus, cytoplasm, chloroplasts. Plants have an additional protective wall called cell wall. It is thick, strong, and rigid and lies outside the cell membrane. Cell wall is made of specialized carbohydrates called cellulose. Functions of cell wall: it provides protective framework and mechanical strength to plant cell. It is freely permeable. solution to enter and leave the cell without any hindrance. Nucleus. This is a dense spherical body that controls all the cell activities. Therefore, it is known as the brain or the control center of a cell. It is most important part of a cell. Functions of nucleus. It regulates, coordinates, and controls all activities of the cell. It plays an important role during cell division. It contains genes which determines the heredity of the organism. These are some parts of nucleus. Mitochondria. A cell must have an energy source, and that energy must be in a form the cell can use. The mitochondrion, singular of mitochondria, is an organelle responsible for energy production. It is a spherical or rod-shaped organelle with a double membrane. The inner membrane is enfolded many times to increase the surface area of energy production. Function of mitochondria. Mitochondria can convert the energy stored in glucose into ATP for the cell. ATP is also known for energy currency of the cell. Therefore, mitochondria are called powerhouse of the cell. Ribosome. They are minute, dense, spherical, and granular particles that occur freely in the cytoplasm. They may remain attached to rough endoplasmic freely in the cytoplasm. They may remain attached to rough endoplasmic reticulum. They are not bounded by a membrane. The two main constituents of ribosome are RNA and protein. Function of ribosome. It is the site of protein synthesis. Plastids are double membrane sac-like organelles. Plastids occur in most plant cells and are absent in animal cells. Function of plastids. They are involved in either manufacture or storage of food. There are three types of plastids: chloroplast, chromoplast, leoplast. Chloroplast is a disc-shaped double-membraned cell organelle. They have the green pigment called chlorophyll that indicates photosynthesis. Therefore, chloroplast is called kitchen of the cell. Energy enters the food chain through chloroplast. Function of chloroplast. Chloroplast traps solar energy and utilized it to food or plant. Chromoplast. It is an organelle containing any paint pigment other than chlorophyll. The pigments may be yellow, orange, or red. It is usually found in flowering plants, egging leaves, ripe fruits, etc. They give colors to carrots, ripe potatoes, red peppers, pumpkins, and other red, yellow, and orange fruits, vegetables, and flowers. Functions of chromoplast. Bright colors of flowers attract insects for pollination. Bright colors of fruit attract animals for dispersal of seeds. Leoplast. These are the non-pigmented organelles that are colorless. Leoplasts are usually found in tissues that are not normally exposed to light. They are generally found in most of the non-photosynthetic parts of the plant. For example, in storage organs like roots, underground stems, tubers, and buds and seeds. Functions of leoplast. They serve as storage of starch, lipids, or proteins depending upon the needs of plant. Plasmic reticulum (ER). It is a vast system of interconnected membranous, infold, and convoluted tubular structures that are located in cells' cytoplasm. The ER stretches from the nuclear membrane to the plasma membrane. Rough endoplasmic reticulum. RER. The rough ER has some ribosomes attached to it, and these ribosomes give it a rough appearance. Function of RER. It provides a surface along with the protein synthesis occurs. SER, smooth endoplasmic reticulum. The smooth ER does not have ribosomes and this much more tubular in appearance. Function of smooth endoplasmic reticulum. SER transports materials through the cell. Second, SER buds off RER, removing the newly made proteins and lipids to Golgi lysosomes and cell membrane. Golgi apparatus or Golgi complex or Golgi body. Golgi apparatus originates from endoplasmic reticulum. They are flattened, tubular, layered, membranous, fluid-filled sacs that look like a stack of pancakes. Each of these stacks is known as cisternae. In plant cell, Golgi body is also known as dictyosome. Functions of Golgi body. The main function of Golgi apparatus is to gather simple molecules and combine them to make molecules that are more complex. Second, it also sorts, modifies, processes, and packages the proteins that are prepared and secreted by the rough endoplasmic reticulum and delivers them to required destinations. These secretions are packaged in vessels. It is also builds lysosomes, cell digestion organelles. Centrosome. Centrosome is a smaller clear region near the nucleus in the central cytoplasm of an animal cell. It has a dense center containing two centrioles, microtubules to raise from centrosome. During cell division, the centrosome divides and the two parts to move opposite sides of this dividing cell. Function of centrosome. It regulates the cell division in animal cell. Lysosome. Lysosome is single membrane pound. Tiny spherical sac filled with fluid containing enzymes. Functions of lysosomes. It digests the foreign particles that enter the cell. Second, it also destroys worn out organelles. Third, if the cell is not functioning properly, they may digest the whole cell. Hence, lysosomes is also known for judicial bag of cell. Vacuole. Vacuole is a fluid-filled sac. A membrane called tonoplast surrounds it. It is found both in animal and plant cells, but is much larger. Occupies almost 90% volume of the cell. Distinct and permanent in plant cell. Functions of vacuole. Vacuole stores food or variety of nutrients that a cell might need to survive. Second, it even stores waste products so the rest of the plant is protected from contamination. Eventually, those waste products would be made harmless and removed out the cell. Hence, vacuole is also known as the warehouse or storage tank of the cell. As they store food and waste products, plants also use vacuoles to store water. Vacuoles gain and lose water depending on how much water is available to the plant. If most the plant water is lost, the vacuoles shrink and the plant drops. The basic structure of the plant is still maintained due to presence of the rigid cell wall. When the plant finds a new resource of water, the vacuoles are refined and plant regains the structure. Plant cell versus animal cell. A plant cell is larger than the animal cell. An animal cell is comparatively smaller in size than a plant cell. Second point, a plant cell is enclosed by a rigid cell wall which provides support to the cell. It contains plasma membrane within the wall. Animal cell. Second point, cell wall is absent in animal cell. The animal cell is enclosed in a thin, flexible plasma membrane. Third point, plant cell. Plant cells are more or less similar in size and are typically rectangular or cuboid shape. Third point, animal cells. Animal cells come in various sizes and tend to have spherical or irregular shapes. Third, plant cell has a large central vacuole that occupies up to 90% of the cell volume. Fourth point, in animal cell. Animal cell may have many small vacuoles or it may be absent. Fifth point, plant cell. Nucleus lies on one side towards the periphery due to large central vacuole. Fifth point, animal cell. Nucleus is usually located in the central of cell. Compound microscope. How can cells be viewed? An instrument called microscope is used to view cells. Before we study how cells are observed with the help of microscopes, we will first take a look at various parts of microscope. Parts and functions of a compound microscope. Various parts and functions of a compound microscope are given below. Eyepiece or eye lens. Function: contains lens to increase magnification. Second, body tube. Function: holds the nose at lower end and eyepiece at upper end. Third, coarse adjustment knob. Function: can be moved up and down to force specimen. Fifth, nose piece. Can be rotated to